Right, welcome to Amateur Radio with W8CPT. Captain Don here. I am going to go over this app, ISS Detector Pro. If you see from the top left, 1, 2, 3, 4 down is the icon, ISS Detector Pro. You have to pay about, I think it was like $2.99 one time for the Pro version of it, and I'll show you why the Pro version is 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 a good thing, and it's only a one-time fee of $2.99 or something like that. All right, so here's the main page. When you open it up, you see I track the moon in case I want to try to do EME, which I really don't have the equipment for, but the IO117 is the green cube digipeater. SO121 is a satellite that's hard to hit. It's only got like a 0.48 watt transmitter, but I have made QSOs, voice QSOs on it. I track RS-44. That's a single sideband. It's not an FM bird, but I do have a Kenwood TS2000 that I do single sideband with. Same with AO27. UVSQ sat is sometimes active, and I usually only find out about it after it's active on social media. JO97 is another single sideband satellite. Of course, you've got the ISS. I track the Tiangong, which is the Chinese space station. Eventually, there's going to be a FM repeater on it. I'm not sure if we're going to be allowed to use it or not, but it's almost as bright as the ISS in the sky, so that's why I track that. Sonate 2 does SSTV. I'm not sure if it's every pass or if that's only activated at a certain time either. I haven't figured that one out yet. Anyway, so that shows you here. Now something I want to show you on the ISS. If you see this first one's in green. Okay, green is the whole pass. Rise to set. Blue is when it's visible. I'm not sure why it's saying it's visible in the middle of the day here, 2:31 p.m. But if you click on that, you'll see it says it's visible for that much of the pass, which is strange. I guess if it was a clear sky, some reason something's reflecting on it and you could see it. But let's look at that real quick. So this is the first page you get, and it shows you that it rises in basically the west, a little bit to the south. You see that little arrow there that's on the circle? That shows you which direction it's going, and it sets in the northeast. So now if you take this and you line it up, that points your phone where it's going to rise. And then during the whole pass, if you follow that line, your phone is pointing at where it is in the sky. So that's pretty cool. Then we'll move down here to the mode V, where it says mode V APRS. You can slide this back and see all the frequencies the satellite has. For the ISS, it's that for the repeater. So that's a pretty neat feature. You can track it with this app when it's going to be above you and where it's at in the sky. And then if you go to this page by scrolling over once, there's a whole bunch of other information about it. You can actually slide up in this box and see the different frequencies. And if you click on the map, it actually gives you a bigger map of where it's at. So it's coming up to the US here pretty quick. I'm obviously not going to work this pass, but it's in range. There's the footprint. You see that circle area around the red dot? That's the footprint. And I think the yellow is the next pass. So that would probably be a good pass for me to possibly try. Sorry about my voice. I've had a cold for about 2 weeks and my voice is just terrible. So now we'll back out of this. Now here's the thing. When you get this app, you go into settings and you can adjust these if you want to show the elevation. These are all kind of like user specific if you want to show the local time zone or UTC, language, compass system, yada yada yada. That really is your choice, okay? But if we go and we hit this one, it looks like a funnel at the top. This is where the Pro version definitely helps you out with the amateur radio satellites. But the first thing you're going to want to do is, remember how I showed you there was two things for the ISS. This first one is when it's visible only. Actually, the first one is what you get if you don't pay for the $2.99 upgrade on this app. The top button here turns it on, so it'll show it in that list I was showing you. I always put all elevations, all thresholds, and I shut off that visible passes only. If you don't shut off the visible passes only, then you will not see all the daylight passes that are going overhead that you could still work with amateur radio. So if you got the free app, at the very least, you need to put the settings like I have them here, basically. Then you'll see all the passes, whether they're visible or not. Excuse me. And then I got the Chinese space station so I could see. One time I was working the ISS and I'm pointing my antenna at it. It was dark out, early morning, and it wasn't very good reception. Well, I looked to my right, and then I see another object flying through the sky that looked like the space station. Actually, a little bit brighter than what I was pointing at. Turns out the first object was a Chinese space station. The second object was the International Space Station. So they can confuse you. So that's why I have them both on. Until the repeater's active on there, I still want to know where it's at. So I'm not pointing my antenna at the wrong one. You can turn on Starlink. You can turn on famous objects. You can turn on the planets. But here's the big one with the paid $2.99 upgrade on this app. Amateur radio satellites. See that in green? You click where it says 14, select satellites. And it shows you all the amateur radio satellites. Now, there's a lot on this list that I have not heard of being active or nothing. But with this list, you can scroll down, and I'm going to scroll down and I'm going to call out all the ones that I use. AO27. Believe that's a single sideband. No, it isn't. It says it's an FM bird. I'm not sure if it's active or not. All right. And the next one is AO91. That one is active, I believe. I don't work it very much, so. Next one is the CAS 3H Lillisat 2. That one is active. I've made a few QSOs on there. And you keep scrolling. There's all these. Okay, Green Cube. That's a digipeater. You'll have to Google that and see if you want to do that. You have to have a decent 70 centimeter antenna for that. Then I always check the ISS on this because the green. See how this one's green? That's showing you the amateur radio information for it. The blue shows you the free app that basically is just for sighting it. Then we got JO97, that's a single sideband satellite. MESAT-1, that's a new satellite that was launched by, I think, school students in Maine. I'm not sure how much it does yet. I heard it's supposed to be a single sideband satellite. Maybe some other things too. And then keep scrolling, and we got PO101. That one is an FM satellite that is activated on a schedule. And the best way to find that schedule is to look up, see how it says Daiwada 2? If you search Daiwada in Twitter, which is now X, there's an account that tells you when it's active. Next one I have checked is RS-44. That is another single sideband satellite. And SO121, that is the one I said that's hard to hit because it only transmits at 0.48 watts. SO50, now that one is active. That one has a different PL tone to activate it. Usually everybody else activates it first, so you don't have to. But you should know how to activate it just in case somebody doesn't, especially if you're doing a late night bass. Then we got Sonate 2. That one does SSTV quite a bit. You see on there it says SSTV, so that's a neat one if you want to try to hear the SSTV signal and use like another app on your phone to decode it. Right, what else do we got? Taiyang, that is the Chinese space station. I'm sure I'm saying that wrong. Then we got UVSQ sat. That one, it was active a couple weeks ago. I heard it might be going into deorbit, but I'm not sure. But I track it and I try it once in a while. And that's it out of the ones that I have. If I am missing anybody and any of them and anybody's watching this knows, please definitely comment on this video and let me know. Or if you have any other information on the ones that I went through. So you check them, you see here it says I got 14 satellites selected. And that puts them in this list that tells you when they're going. So I got an ISS pass coming up at 20 degrees at 12:52. It's like 5 minutes from now. And then I got another one at 54 degrees at 2:28. Another one at 4:06 p.m., 19 degrees. Another ISS at 19 degrees, 5:44 p.m. Yeah, so this is a really good app for both Android and iPhones. And I just figured I'd do a little video on it and show you how it works because I get a lot of people asking me about it. So hopefully this helps you track the satellites so you can make some more successful contacts on amateur radio satellites. Thanks for watching Amateur Radio with W8CPT. Captain Don here saying 73.